Mm-hmm.
Dr. Brenda Diaz is in the house, Nashville's own.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Dr. Brenda.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good. Good.
Good. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Where are you going?
Where I'm coming from, friend.
Okay, where are you coming from?
You know, the Memphis 901. Heading back to the Ville now.
Miss Brenda, she brought me some barbecue up, so I'm excited about it.
Oh man, they got everything we shut down up here.
Oh,
wow.
Really?
Yeah. So, how's everyone else doing on the call?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good.
Good. I just said I was gonna jump on, just support.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna kick it to you for like 30 minutes, so I hope you prepared.
Who kick it to who? Kick it to
You,
what?
you, Brenda. You, Brenda.
Oh no! I'm in the listening mode. That's why I'm not driving. I'm in the listening mode.
That's good. That's good. I'm teasing you. That's funny.
Well, good luck to y'all.
Oh yeah. We got a crew, Miss Brenda. It's gonna be nice.
Cool.
Got the whole crew.
Shannon, where are you located?
I'm in Windsor, California.
Okay, all right. I don't know if we've met before. I'm Gary in Nashville.
I've seen you before in multiple places.
Okay. I'm able to be a few places in this virtual space, you know.
I know, it's something. It's so cool. I'm so appreciative.
That's definitely one of the benefits.
Totally. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
You look like you're at a school.
I am.
Dang, lucky.
Yeah, I'm in Winnipeg, so in Canada, and our city and region has just moved to the red zone, the critical zone, where they're shutting down basically everything except grocery stores, hospitals, and schools.
Wow.
Oh man.
So,
Do you know Miss is your principal Ben Carr?
yes.
Oh, cool.
That's my man. Ben's my man. And then your LTI coordinator is Miss Mary Beth.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Dang, you guys got a good team up there. Yeah.
No. And I also have a student with me. He'll be joining shortly on his own device, but he's here in the room too.
Okay. Hey man.
Hey,
Elliot.
how you doing?
Man, doing great.
Good. Nice to see everybody, or some of you.
Yeah.
Some of yous. Gary, I thought you were gonna say, do you know, and like pull somebody from Canada. I was be like, Canada's pretty big.
Jeez, Lynn. Oh, ye of little faith. Do you,
You know
who's a
my
Canadian?
grandmother,
Like,
she visited Canada once.
yeah. No,
Canada's big, but the big picture schools in Canada are small and mighty.
yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
Cool.
And oddly enough, one of my best comrades is Ben. I'm talking to him one day this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
And then their LTI coordinator, Lynn, is a DJ, and her and I follow each other, and we've done streams together. So
That's cool.
back up, Lynn. That's
So
what
back up. What's her name?
Well, her DJ name is Kill Your Son, I think.
Okay.
But Mary Beth is her name, Mary Beth.
We'll have to have a separate breakout room to talk about your emerging DJ career.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
excited
they
about
were
that.
spinning to beat the band at Summerfest. They were
Oh yeah.
going at each other.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it was fun, man. That was a surreal evening, man.
It's fun.
Paul, are you
House in the house.
are you set up to show your video?
Yep, it's ready to go whenever.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do a couple of things. We'll wait a few more minutes to get everybody, or as many people as we can on. Good to see everybody.
That's the last part.
Ding dong.
Gary, is your Ariana Norfleet?
Yeah, Norfleet. Yes, yeah.
All right. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah. Paul, all of our students, we have 4 students on the call today. Ari Elliott is one of our students. Ari, what's up, man? Good morning. We also have Ariana, Takia, and Tamaya House. Those are all our folks.
Great.
Great.
Good to have you here. Good to have you. Paul, you going to hit the record button?
It's already going.
Okay. I'm just double checking, that's all.
Hey, Dr. Princess.
Hello, Gary. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm better that you're here. I'm glad you're here.
I'm trying to get it together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to get started with a couple of things. Welcome, everybody. Glad that you're all here. This is going to be ongoing and continuing and get bigger and bigger, hope, from our little small groups of schools that we're starting with. And I just have a few announcements to make. First of all, I'm Elliot Washer. I'm co-founder of Big Picture Learning. And I just want to say a few things. So make sure that everybody is knowing what we're doing in the next couple of weeks. So one, I see Andrea's on from Fable Vision. We're going to go into phase 2 of the design and define of the website and the app. And we would like to get a small group of students who are really interested in website development, app development, and lifestyle medicine to work with us on the define and design phases.
Good morning, Good morning, Mr. Chavez. Sigwali, how are you,
Morning.
everybody?
How you doing?
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. So we would like you to let me know who those students might be from your school. That's one. 2, I don't know if Isari is on because I can't see everybody yet, but Isari has just joined Big Picture Learning full-time, and she's gonna be the social media person who gets the word out around what students are doing at the school, your schools. And if there's some students who are very interested in social media and lifestyle medicine, they can start interning with Isari. So I want to let people know about that. 3, we haven't named this app and website yet. We call it BPL HL Lifestyle Medicine, but we're going to have a contest for $1,000 for a school that comes up with the name. So, and we're going to unveil the website and the app and all this work at the leadership conference at Big Picture. So we have about 5-6 weeks to get a name for this website and app. We wanted it to come from students. If you haven't submitted for the $1,000 for your school, please do so. Most of you have, some of you haven't yet, and want to get that get that money to you. Also, I would really love to hear from each and every advisor, staff person who is talking with me about what's going on in your schools and what projects are going on. So if you could just shoot me an email, I'm happy to get on a Zoom one-on-one with everybody. I just want to know so we can start posting those projects that you're doing, that great stuff, and make sure that Andrea and Isari know about that so they can put it out on social media. So those are the things that I have. This time was really supposed to be dedicated to Odyssey STEM Academy, which is a Big Picture school, and Paul as the lead adult there, with students driving the program. And we're going to start that at the next time. But Paul got real excited about what Gary was doing, and so we had a little bit of a mix-up. So the Driven is by Big Picture Nashville, not by Odyssey. But it doesn't mean that Paul. Yep, that's right. Thank you, Lynn. But that doesn't mean that Paul hasn't been doing anything. And I'd like to turn it over to Paul to just show a 5-minute video of the work that's been done or to and through COVID at his school. And then we're going to get on to the webinar. So Paul, take it away. And then Gary and everybody and Lynn and company is going to be all yours from Big Picture Nashville. We're all excited to see what you got for us.
All right, Elliot. We'll be
Hold
ready.
on 1 second. Yes, Paul. Paul, give it a whirl. Tell them what it is and let's get going.
This here's a quick video. Like Elliot said, you know, a lot of the work we do around wellness is around environmental wellness. There are definitely some layers of the relationship piece built into this video. A local news organization put this out a couple days ago, and Elliot asked that I show that with you all. Please let me know if the audio is coming through. Let's see here.
In March 2020, every school had to do a hard pivot, transitioning kids learning in a physical classroom to a virtual one. Meet Paul Hudak. He's an environmental sustainability teacher to 32 sophomore scholars at the Odyssey STEM Academy in Lakewood. Hudak's been an educator on the subject at various institutions for almost 15 years, but never quite like this. Online, through computer screens.
Our screenshots do be coming out ugly though.
So how does an inclusive, culturally connected learning community like
Paul, you lost sound, my friend.
Uh-oh. We may have lost the sound. See if you can get it back, Paul. If you can't, what we're going to do is of course, we're going to send out the URL to everybody so you can view it at your school. I'm going to post it in my newsletter blog, and we're going to get it up on the website. But I thought it would be great for you to see what they're doing in times of COVID.
All right, yeah, let me give it a whirl. Did it start out with volume all right?
Yeah.
It did, yeah. The last 20 seconds, the volume dropped.
Okay. Let's see here.
Color. This has a natural insecticide. You can tell me what you think an insecticide is.
It repels insects?
Yeah, exactly. It contains properties that repel insects.
think like a plant? And here's why that matters, especially in a virtual classroom.
We want this to make sense to them. We want it to have some sort of a relevance. So I will often phrase things to get them thinking about something within their own lives and then transfer that information into something that relates to the environment.
STEM is short for science, technology, engineering, and math. In Paul's class, Learning via Nature and the Odyssey Greenhouse helps kids experience firsthand the importance of taking care of planet Earth, the process of collecting research data and evidence, and how to take what's growing in the garden to feed, give back to their own family and community. Of course, there are certain technical challenges to tackle when learning online.
So we're going to take a trip into the greenhouse. We're going to hope that this iPad does not overheat. So let's see, my first question is, do you remember what this flower is?
Sunflower. 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 Yes,
Exactly.
I love that flower.
And sometimes school materials, like anything else, can get a little mangled.
So the little bowls that you gave us in school, like as soon as I got them, I sat on them, so they got smashed.
You'll see that when we get back to campus, like we're going to be stepping on them left and right. Part of the process. So back in the spring, we had a lot of food that was coming on. I mean, there was a lot coming on right when distance learning started. I'd harvest the produce, clean it up, and then put it into those bags for parents and families to come take away. And then we also donate food to food finders here in Lakewood as well.
Paul's environmental sustainability class originally involved mostly live and in-person experiences with things like growing food, selling those items at farmers markets, and donating to food banks, things that suddenly were almost impossible. So they shifted with a course called Fun with Food Great Grains, which took on a new level of importance for many families at home.
So we focused on wheat and corn and rice and distributed future food to different families.
Then we're also learning about
trying to do food and things like that. And we also learn about that stuff to help us in real life. Like we were doing a cheese experiment, and we were using our cheese experiment basically to show how we observe things.
I appreciate that we're doing that because I know there's a lot of young adults or grown adults who don't even know how to plant or cook at all.
And now more than ever, family is what it's all about.
We just want to create a sense of ease for our scholars at home and let them know, like, we care about them and we care about their families too. Like, we're really all in this together.
Through the challenges we've all faced this year, this generation of Odyssey STEM students have some words of advice for students and parents at home.
I know, like, sometimes it gets, like, stressful, like, for me and, like, for other classmates. But you just have to, like, believe in yourself. And, yeah, it's a different experience, but you're going to get lots of things out of it.
And just because we are physically distanced, be sure you don't socially distance. Pick up that phone and text a friend or your teacher.
And a lot of that, like, happens outside of school, too. Like, they'll hit us up at the end of the day and say, oh, you have some time to get together and talk about this. And, the answer is always yes, because we want them to thrive in this environment, in every environment, but especially this current environment.
In the words of Shakespeare, the earth has music for those who listen. For City TV, I'm Christina McCauley.
All right. Well, that Paul, great messages there, and I like that big picture learning shirt that you were wearing. That we got the message out, and we're going to continue to do that. I'm going to send you out a newsletter also from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine with a message from their president, Dr. Dexter Cherney. You'll receive that. A lot of great information in there for students. So without further ado, Gary, I'm surprised we don't have music taking us into this, but I'll bring my own tunes next time. But I'll hand it off to you and Big Picture Nashville.
Elliot, hey, thanks. Reporting live from Music City. We're really glad to be here today and to contribute to this initiative. Let me make sure that you guys can see. Okay. Paul, am I sharing my screen? Can you see the PowerPoint right now? Okay. So I'm going to be short with you guys. I brought a team with me, and I think just to open, I want to share one thing. So today you're gonna be engaged in and immersed in our initiative called Love in a Big World, and in many ways this initiative is about three things that are at the core of who we are as a school. The first point is community connection. So we were looking for something to engage and connect and create a language and a space to have meaningful conversations that could and would build relationship in advisory, between advisory students and for staff. And we didn't have anything. We couldn't find anything that we felt good about. And so we reached out into our community and found this organization, and you'll meet Tamara in a moment. Tamara runs this organization called Love in a Big World, and they've been doing work around SEL work and work around creativity and building relationships through meaningful, powerful content and conversation. So that's the first point, is just connecting with the community outside of these walls. The second point is, one thing our principal, Dr. Diaz, always says is it's about getting the right people in the right place. And I think in order to do that, best case scenario is the person who's in charge of the work is passionate about the work. And so you're going to meet one of our advisors from Nashville Big Picture, Lynn Lavender. And Lynn Lavender is absolutely the right person to be doing this work, because her passion is around connecting, building relationships, and really helping students and staff members to be vulnerable and create a space for these relationship conversations to happen and create experiences for that to happen. So I want to introduce you guys to Lynn and Tamara. And then lastly, we are in the second year of this initiative. And we've been doing it over the last 2 years with the group who is now our seniors. And what we learned after the first year was, in order to really maximize what we wanted to happen with this initiative, we had to give it to the students and really elevate and engage student voice. So today you're going to meet 4 of our students who are with you guys, and they will do the bulk of the leading today. But I want to give a big shout out to each of them, Miss Tamaya House, to Ari Elliott, to Takia White, and to Ariana Norfleet. So those folks are all on the call, and they'll take it from here. I'm going to pass the mic to Miss Lynn.
I started and was muted. So yeah, I was in grad school, and Gary kind of gave you a little bit of the context. I was in grad school and I was studying social emotional learning, which is SEL, if you've never heard of that term. And I was just really passionate about it and thinking, we need this, we need something in advisory. Our high school kids need this. And I started looking for a program for high school kids, and I couldn't find one really. And I stumbled upon, in researching, Love in a Big World, the organization, and Tamara, and she happened to be in Nashville. And I was like, I'm gonna reach out. It's funny, it's not really like me, but I was like, I'm gonna reach out and just see if she'd be interested in doing something. And she was, and we met, and it was great. And that's how we kind of got hooked up. And she said, hey, she does this all over the country with other schools, and people are always asking her, hey, high school curriculum, we don't have it. I think people think kids are fully formed social and emotionally by the time they're in 8th grade, and we know that's not true, because social emotional development is a lifelong thing. And so she said, yeah, let's do a pilot program. And you know, the rest is history, really. But we had a lot of meetings, we set it up, and we set it up for the 11th grade. And like Miss Gary said, the reason we chose the 11th grade was a couple of reasons. Number one, we're talking about relationships. There was a lot of advisor turnover in this. They had lost advisors a few different times. I think maybe 3 different advisors had been lost throughout their first 2 years. And you know that can really mess up an advisory, and the relationships have to start all over, and the chemistry can be off. So we were seeing that was one of the reasons. There was a lot of kind of upheaval in that grade level. The reason we started with them, who are now seniors. The discipline data, there was discipline data, some negative stuff coming out of that group, as well as like some their climate data, how they were feeling. There was some discontent there. And so anyways, that's how we got to choosing them as a grade level. We were like, we need to show them some love, really. And like Mr. Gary said, what we were needing was a structure and common language and common time to build these relationships and to introduce opportunities for vulnerability and intimacy. And so a lot of these things, you know, the SEL part of it is kind of a byproduct of relationship building. That's why we felt like this fit in this webinar. And that's one of the things that I love about Love in a Big World is, and I'll pass it to Tamara, but everything that we do with SEL and you know, what you would think of as like character education, you know, all of that is couched within relationships. And it's not like, let me bring in this expert and teach you guys how to act. It's what are these things? And as relationships and vulnerability is creates intimacy between people, these things often are byproducts. So she does that so well in her in all her curriculum she's already developed, as well as this pilot curriculum. So she's so good, you're gonna see that. And I'll pass it to Tamara.
Thank you, Lynn. And thank you everyone with Big Picture. I'm excited to be here. Just to give you a little bit of background on Love in a Big World, I started the work of Love in a Big World back in 1996. And that's when youth development and character education was at the forefront of the work that was happening in schools. And then, as you know, if you've been in education for a while, the pendulum swung from the focus on the whole child more to testing, and now we're seeing that pendulum swing back to the focus on the whole child. And given what we're experiencing with COVID, there's an even increased focus on the needs of mental health and wellness for kids and families. So I've got lots to share about the work, but I'll just hone in on a few things. As Lynn and Gary said, we are thrilled to partner with Big Picture here in Nashville. And one of the reasons is because our primary focus for the last 20 plus years has been on kindergarten through 8th grade and providing literacy-based and arts-infused curriculum to help kids and adults connect wherever they may be, whether that's in the classroom or in an aftercare program, or even in a youth development program that happens on the weekends or in the community. And a lot of this came out, well, all of it came out of the work I was doing hands-on with kids in our own Nashville community. And so what we saw was that there was a need, as Lynn mentioned, for high school curriculum. And we had heard that from a number of different people, especially when we were at conferences or in other settings. And they were saying, hey, do you have something? We love what you're doing, but do you have it for high school? And so when Lynn reached out about the need that they had at Big Picture, it just seemed like a perfect fit. And so again, all that we do with Love in a Big World is literacy based, using reading, writing, and speaking, and also using the arts as a method to help kids learn character education, social and emotional learning. And we define social and emotional learning as the ability to identify what's going on in your head and in your heart, so you can use your hands to build up and not tear down. And so I started with, well, the research into the literature that we could use for high school. And then, as Lynn mentioned, lots of meetings with the staff. Because one of the things that we've learned along the way with Love in a Big World is that no matter how great a program is, and I hate to call it Love in a Big World a program, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, what it comes down to is relationship. And not only is it the relationship between teachers and students, but it's teachers and each other and teachers and admin. And so we have to develop the capacity within our educators so that they feel best equipped to do this work. And so that's a huge focus of what we're doing now with Love in a Big World. So the research on the literature led me to this great book called Poetry Speaks Who I Am. And the reason we landed on poetry as the genre is because it is succinct and yet power-packed. And for high schoolers, it's a great way to segue into conversations about spoken word and even rap music, which are two areas that they really love. So we wanted that relevancy, the cultural relevancy. So that's why we chose this book, and you'll actually get to hear a selection from this shortly. The other thing that Lynn and the team and I decided was that we were going to have regular check-in sessions with the advisors and regular check-in sessions with the students to find out what was working, what wasn't working, and how we can improve along the way. And one of those first check-in sessions, the kids actually said, you know, it feels too much like school. And I said, well, that's not what we want. Because really the desire for Love in a Big World is to be a tool to build relationships between students and teachers and students and one another. And if it feels too much like school, then it's really not going to work, because we want to entertain, educate, and empower. So it's got to be fun, right? You got to use that spoonful of sugar approach. And I said, okay, so what can we do to make it better? What if you lead the sessions? And they said, yeah, that sounds really good. But if we're leading, we need the teachers to participate, just like we have agreed upon before. And I said, okay, well, let's see if we can make that happen. And so it's just been one iteration after the other. And then we kind of took our learnings from last year, because COVID, you know, there was a lot that didn't work, and then there was interruptions. But we decided, you know, to restart for the 2020-21 school year. It was best to gather the students and advisors once again and ask those same questions. What's working? What's not working? What can we do better? And the students have had so much input, because they saw it firsthand, and they can tell you even more about what they learned and the ideas that fostered as they were working together, using a common language and having focused time, the intentionality of that time during advisory to have vulnerable conversations around what was going on. Again, helping them identify what's going on in their heads and in their hearts, and giving space for that really gave them some great ideas that hopefully they'll get to share too, that went beyond that advisory time into how school culture is done at Big Picture Nashville. So I'd love to turn it over to Takia, Ariana, Maya, and Ari to share more about the experience of Love in a Big World at Big Picture.
Hey, Takia, I just want you to know I'm here. I'm on the PowerPoint and I can make adjustments if you just let me know. But let me know what you need, and you have the floor now. Takia, your mic might be off. Hey, Takia, your microphone is off.
All right, my computer's lagging.
Oh yeah, there you are. Okay, hey, it's all yours. Let me know what you need. I'm here on the PowerPoint, but you're the expert. Make it happen.
Okay, hi, I'm Takia. I'm a senior at Nashville Big Picture, and we have 3 other seniors. We have Ari Elliott, then we have Ariana Norfleet, and then we have Maya, well, Tamaya House. And we've been doing Love in a Big World since last year. And last year, of course, it was student-led. I mean, not student-led, it was teacher-led, so it wasn't as fun. But now since it's student-led, we can connect with the students more. Oh yeah, and today we'll be going through the whole process, which we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. On Mondays, we read the poems. On Wednesdays, we have group discussions. Then on Fridays, we do group reflections. And today, Ariana will be reading a poem that we've chose for y'all today.
All right. Hello, my name is Ariana Norfleet. And today, well, I am a senior at Nashville Big Picture High. And like Takia said, we've been doing Love in a Big World since 11th grade last year. And it was teacher-led, which felt too much like a chore. And it wasn't as fun because teachers, obviously, they're not our age, so they don't know what we like as teenagers. So we decided to make it student-led, and it has been great ever since because we actually know what each other likes. We know our likes and dislikes, and we've been able to make it work to our liking as teenagers. And so the poem I'm going to be reading you is called Caroline. And if you have the book and you want to read along, you can. And it's on page 96, I believe. It's by Allison Joseph. All right. In 8th grade, we teased that girl as much as we could, mocking her clothes, her stringy hair, her flat, pallid face that revealed little protest. Used to being the one white girl in our class of Blacks, Hispanics, she endured our taunts on her lack of rhythm, on her stiff, flat-butted walk. How we pitied her, brown hair parted straight, pulled back in a dull ponytail, her jeans, or her corduroy pants in washed out shades of gray or blue, her homework neatly done in pained, legible print. How weak it was to be white, we thought, not able to dance or run fast, to have skin that peeled from too much sun. We never let Caroline forget that she was white, and we were Black, that we could swing our hips and snap our fingers without trying, privy to street slang rhythms. But she was our white girl, and if anyone else dared to touch her or call her names, we'd be on them in a second, calling them ugly right back, slapping offenders if necessary. With one of us by her side, she could walk the school safely, knowing she was ours, even if we didn't let her in all the way, even if we laughed at her white speech, thin lips. So, the directions in the breakout rooms will be think about the prompt for 2 to 3 minutes and then journal your answers for 3 to 4 minutes. These guided questions. And yes.
Hey, Ariana. Hey, good work. Excellent job, Takia. Thanks for kicking us off. Paul, we're going to pass the tech baton to you. And if you can make the breakout sessions happen, let's see. I think I skipped a couple. Okay. So once we get into breakout sessions, for all of our folks here, you're going to have a student leader in those breakout sessions, probably 2, as well as a NBPHS staff member as well. So we'll get into those sessions and we'll let the students take over. Paul, if you want to set the timer for like, let me check, about 10 minutes, that'd be sufficient, I think, 10 to 12. And then we'll come back into this space.
All right, timer's set and the rooms are going to open. If you've never done a breakout room before, you'll see an invite that's going to invite you into a room. Just go ahead and click on it. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. All right, folks. Hopefully, folks are making their way back from the breakout rooms. And let me get my screen situated here. All right. So I was in the breakout room with Ari and Takia, and we definitely had some conversations. We could have used maybe another hour or so in that space. But I want to kind of transition back into the full group. I think, Paul, is everybody here now for the most part? Okay.
Yep, good to go, Gary.
Okay. I'm trying to get my screen where I can see and still screen share here. But now that we're back, I want to again bring your attention to Takia and Ariana, Ari, and the crew, and they'll kind of do a debriefing. I think on as far as time goes, we have maybe 3 minutes to do a group debriefing. So we had one group working with Tamaya and Ariana, and then the other group working with Ari and Takia. So let's kind of come together. What happened? What conversations? I'd love to hear from Ariana or Tamaya. What was the conversation in your space?
Well, the conversation, we didn't have that many people talking, but for the most part, what we talked about is that, you know, Caroline in the poem, it's like, it's hard being left out of the majority is what we basically revolved around. Um, um like imagine not even race wise, even though that's what the poem is talking about. It could be you're the only Catholic in a room of atheists. You're the only Black person in a room of white people. Um, you're the only one different in a majority group of people who are different from you, and how that would make you feel. And it would make most people feel left out because everyone might be talking about something that they could all understand and relate to, while you have no idea about you have no idea what they're talking about. You can't relate because you're not a part of that that group. So that's what we revolved around, how it feels to be different.
Ariana, is there somebody from your crew that you'd like to shout out that can maybe share something that they got from the conversation?
Maybe I can shout out, I have Amanda Beville. She said some great points. Shannon Johnson, she also said some great points. If they would like to share what they thought about it.
I can jump in real quick. Just to respond to that last question of what can we do, and I just brought up just the pure concept of empathy. It comes pretty easy to some, but can be really hard for others. So just recognizing kind of where you are in that spectrum of empathizing with others, and building up those skills by just being a good listener, and with little things, just as, making eye contact with the person when you're talking to them, because that can be a good gateway to building a relationship with someone that you may not have had any interest in before.
I think just it's so powerful to think of being the other, and how a poem like that really, you feel it different. I really get the idea of why you guys did poetry. It totally makes sense. And it is really, really hard to be the one who's different. You're like a pet, like just close enough in, but not all the way in. And how we can all kind of relate to that, you know, like the kid sister, you know, or the little person, or the and that was really powerful. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Shannon, Amanda, and Ariana. I'm gonna pass the mic to Takia and Ari. You guys want to offer some input from your crew, and then give some shout outs to a couple folks?
All right, since Ari isn't talking, what you talked about was similar to what we talked about. And I forgot what this person said, but what they said stood out to me, and it was what Andrew said. So whatever you said, can you repeat that in here?
Andrew, your mic is muted, my friend.
Are you referring? Yeah, the first comment I made. So, yeah, I was just talking about how, you know, I thought that with people were talking about some kind of negativity, you know, with how the other girls were treating Caroline, and obviously there was that aspect to it that was hard for her, and that, you know, what you were talking about, Gary, that sense of belonging is what all of us really want, no matter what. You know, it's like one of the most core things we have, of course, universally. But I thought there was also an honesty about the way that the girls spoke to her about it, because there was a positive side as well. But just that, like someone else in our group was saying, that we'd like to pretend that, you know, that color doesn't matter or whatever it is, but it is. It's there. That history of oppression is there. And so, you know, I thought that the way that they dealt with it, by burying that, you know, by what's that James Baldwin quote, you know, you got to see something before you can change it, basically. And that doesn't mean you're going to change it, but the girls saw that the dynamic between them, even though there's similarities and commonalities, that there was a difference there, and she could never be fully in that group.
Ari, anything you want to offer before we pass the mic to Tamaya House?
Nothing really, just basically, you know, reinforcements. Almost going to bring up your comment when you said that was, you know, a part of what, you know, you and your friends did. So it's kind of like it's a part of your group culture. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like in my family, like we kind of have that same thing where it's like everybody jokes, you know, it's like after you reach a certain age, it's kind of like, okay, fair game.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, that it's coming from a genuine place. Like, it's not anything, you know, negative, like, oh, well, your grades are terrible and you're not going to be able to go to college and you're not going to do this. It's none of that. It's just like, you know, just family friendly fun. You know, it brings you together in the end. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it, like looking from the outside in, but it definitely does.
Well, hey, a big shout out to the student leaders and for all the folks who participated. I want to Takia, I wanted you to share about the menu of options and sort of how that came about, why that came about, and then that'll segue you into Tamaya's piece.
Do you have the sheet?
I do not.
I have it. I can share it.
Okay.
Give me a second.
So while she's pulling it up, Takia, you go ahead and rock it and explain the evolution of how it happened.
Okay, well, Ariana and we interned with Miss Tamara for Love in a Big World, and we wanted to we came up with the menu of options because we wanted to do it, not as a grade, but we knew we had to do it. some way so we know that the students are paying attention. So how we came up with the menu of options, the stuff on there is, we wanted it to be catered towards all of the seniors. So we took stuff that each senior is interested in and put it on the menu of options sheet. And on the sheet, we have about, I'd say like at least 20, 25 options for each student to choose from. Like I know some students in our grade are interested in photography, so we put that on there. And we did it like this because we know when teachers give us projects, all of the products are usually limited. So it's either like a PowerPoint or a video and something else, and that's kind of boring. And we wanted everybody to do something they're interested in.
Can y'all see the menu of options, Gary?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
And when we were talking about this initiative and specifically this menu of options, Takia, I asked you, I was like, why did you guys come up with these particular options? Do you remember why?
Because I said it's usually limited and we wanted to cater it towards everybody in the grade level.
Yeah. And one of the things, the brilliance behind the student leadership in this is they thought about each kid in the senior group and what they liked, and then added that option in. They're like, oh, Ari enjoys public speaking, so let's put that on there for Ari. Gary enjoys music, so let's put that on there for Gary. And they were that thoughtful when they were creating this, which is just incredible. And so with that in mind, so just to offer a bit of clarity, after they go through a portion of Love in a Big World, students are asked to create sort of a reflective piece where they take a character trait or a poem or a conversation like we just had and put it into something creative. So Tamaya House, are you here? Is your mic on?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm looking for you. I see you. Okay, there you are. So Tamaya is gonna share a piece that she created out of her work on Love in a Big World. Tamaya was in my advisory 3 years ago before I moved into administration. And she is a poet, she is a performer, she is a singer, and I'm excited for you guys to get exposed to Tamaya House. So Tamaya, it's all yours. She'll be doing a poem today entitled Dear Brianna.
Okay. Well, like Mr. Gary said, my name is Tamaya. I'm a senior and I am a poet. And I will be reading a poem that I wrote entitled Dear Brianna. So, Dear Brianna, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you worked hard for a system that couldn't even work hard for you. I'm sorry that your neighbors got justice before you did. I'm sorry that your governor, Andy Beshear, and the Supreme Court is still trying to justify your murder, trying to make your murder your fault. I'm sorry that we waited and we marched and we fought for 194 days for no justice at all. I'm sorry that the Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, was chosen by the system to harm your Black people. But then again, all skin folk aren't kinfolk. I'm sorry that people are turning your murder into movies and trying to make money off of you, but they couldn't help you. They didn't help you. I'm sorry that you couldn't even be safe in your own home. Brianna, I'm so sorry. But there are no amount of sorries that can bring you back. There's no amount of sorries that can heal your family, your friends. There's no amount of sorries that can stop the pain that everyone feels. Brianna, I'm sorry. But even though you are gone, your name will forever live on.
Tamaya, as we get ready to wrap up, I wanted you to share the Love in a Big World thing that you guys planned last year. What was it? Why was it effective? It was one of my highlights from last year for sure. Talk to the folks about that, and then we'll wrap up.
Are you referring to the Poetry Slam?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Me and another poet that went to school, Michaela, we had came up with the idea to do a poetry slam for everyone in the school. And it was a great turnout. It was a lot of people. It wasn't only just the junior class. It was freshmen, it was sophomores, it was seniors that participated. It was really fun. And yeah, that's it.
So thank you, Tamaya. So last year, the group had a culminating event that was a poetry slam, and it was incredible. Dr. Princess, I still remember your poem. Mr. Derek, who I think is on the call, remember his song, and Dr. Stephanie, as well as Tamaya and Michaela and the student presenters. I think we're on the back end as far as time goes. I'm trying to follow our itinerary here. Lynn, I'm going to pass the mic to you and to Tamara, and you guys can take it home.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that's all we have. If this is our contact information. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them. I know we don't have very long till the call's over. But does anybody have any burning questions? We gotta know before 1 p.m.
Miss Lynn, just so you know, in the chat, they are asking for the menu of options. A couple people are asking for the menu of options. So if you would just send that to them.
Awesome. Paul, what's the best way? I guess I could just email it to Paul.
Yeah, if you could send it to me, then I can send it out to everybody with the next invite to one of these for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool menu, and it was all student created, which is cool. Anybody else? Thank you guys, students, for leading. You guys did a great job in a kind of an intense, intimidating environment. So proud of you guys. Thank you to Tamara, who has been such a fantastic partner. She's up for anything. I text her at unreasonable hours, like Friday night at 6 o'clock. So she's been fantastic. Tamara, do you have anything before we go?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to partner with you, and we are here and ready to serve other big picture schools.
Absolutely, which is fantastic. So thank you guys.
Great.
Paul, I'll pass it back to you and Elliot, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, Gary. Elliot, take it away.
Yeah, well, Paul will be back in 3 weeks, and we got something coming up from Andrew, advisory in the park coming up. This was fantastic. Thanks to the students who were just incredible with their voice and emotions and writing, and staff at Big Picture Nashville. Really loved it. And we're going to get these things posted and cut up, and we're on our way to get started and figuring this all out. So thanks for stepping up. Much thanks.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Elliot, for the opportunity, and to Paul and students. You guys got the magic, man. Keep making it happen.
Love it. Loving a big world. You got it.
Take care, everybody.
All right, I'm gonna take us out from Music City. I gotta play.
There you go. Now you're talking.
I got you. Y'all have a good one, you guys.
Bye-bye.